Welcome to the second episode of Enroll. My name's Tim Schilling.
And my name is Lori Nicholson. I'm your co-host. Tim Schilling is your host. And we are pre-recording this. It is Wednesday, 10:38. We will have, or actually it's Tuesday. I'm a day ahead of myself. We are having issues with the Iowa Family Preservation Project channel until we get some technical glitches taken care of. We will be uploading all these series to the YouTube channel. And I want to thank everybody that has subscribed to our channel. Tim?
Yes, definitely, because people need to know the truth about what's really happening to parents around the United States. And that's why me and Lori decided to do this, to actually tell the truth and let people know what is really happening to targeted parents around the United States. Uh, we're going to be doing many different episodes of many different things. And today's episode is what happens to a targeted parent during the holidays. I know what it was like for myself for many years. And Lori, she knows what it's like. And because of our horrific ordeal in the anti-family court system, it brought me and Lori together. It brought many of us around the country together, thousands, maybe even millions of targeted parents, including their children, the effects that it has on a child and a parent's relationship, especially during the holidays. Lori, why don't you start it off, and why don't you actually tell a little bit, tell the public, okay, that people that don't even know you, know me, tell them a little bit about your experience to let people know of what's really happening to a targeted parent around the holidays. Why don't you explain this to people? That way, if even if they don't know about it, let them know what's really happening to us.
Well, Tim, before I get into my own experience, I would like to try to summarize how everybody feels during the holidays, the feelings and emotions that you feel, the ambiguous grief, which ambiguous grief is the trauma that's placed on a targeted parent. And it's a process of sadness and grief. And there's so much that you almost lose track of yourself. This leaves a person searching for answers. This complicates and delays the healing process. It also delays the process of grieving in itself, and often results in unresolved grief. The loneliness and isolation that a person experiences during the holidays, it's not just Christmas, it's Mother's Day, it's Father's Day, it's any holiday, any child's birthday that you're missing. A person has a hard time not placing blame. It's not placing blame, but understanding what's happening to them. It can be devastating for a parent. Tim and I wanted to discuss with you guys, what do you do, whether it's CPS or parental alienation? What do you do, like specifically now during the holidays? Like if you run into somebody at the grocery store that you haven't seen in 5 years, and that person says, "Hey, how you doing? How are those kids?" What do you say? Tim, how would you answer that?
Well, whenever I was parentally alienated, I know exactly how you feel. And I've talked to many targeted parents around the United States. Whenever somebody says that, you don't know what to say. You actually are traumatized by just a trigger word. Like somebody innocently saying something like that, it triggers you. And you actually, like myself, I started shaking because it it triggered me. That's why a lot of the holidays back then, I really didn't care about holidays. I just wanted to spend them by myself because it just seemed like nobody cared. The attorneys didn't care, the judges didn't care, psychologists, therapists, they didn't care what, holidays was missed by you and your child. The trauma was just overwhelming. It's actually heartbreaking now. Now since I'm out of it, I see both sides of it, and people that don't understand it and never experienced it would look down on people like us and think that we did something wrong. And whenever somebody in the grocery store would say that, that would bring up everything. Like if you're scared to say something to them, like, well, I don't get to see my kid. Now all of a sudden it
You
brings
don't
up
want to bring
another
that
thing.
up.
Yeah, then all of
And
a
that's
sudden it
going to
brings,
lead to more questions.
that's right. And
And
you're
then,
afraid to
well,
say
if you
anything.
don't see them, you must have done something wrong.
Exactly. It's happened to you, it's happened to me, it's happened to thousands, maybe millions of us. It's like you build a wall up then because you don't want to get hurt and you don't want to say anything because you don't know how to react. You don't know what to say whenever somebody says an innocent comment like that in the store. It could be anywhere, you
So,
know?
what is our advice? And we're not attorneys. We are not attorneys and we can't offer legal advice. But from my own experience, I found it better to just tell a little white lie and say, hey, they're doing great. Oh my God, they're growing so big. I mean, that's really not lying. It's really not. They're growing. What do
Exactly.
you, how
Yeah,
would you handle it?
exactly. That's what you just said is most of us do. And, some of us don't. They just put their head down and walk away. I mean, I used to do that. It
Shy
was
away
hard
from,
because, yeah, especially in the beginning, whenever a holiday would come up, especially like Thanksgiving and Christmas, whenever you're used to all the family members and all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. And
yeah.
then all of a sudden you're made into some monster that you're not. And whenever you just simply go to a store and try to get something and something like that happens, yeah, you don't know what to say, and don't know what to do. And then what happens during the holidays, you don't want to go out. You don't want to go out and socialize anymore because you're afraid that if you run into somebody, they'll ask you a question like that. And then you'll get targeted,
And
you
that
know.
compounds the trauma that you're already,
Exactly.
the
And this is
grief and trauma that you're
designed,
already experiencing, just let alone with the
right.
holidays.
And it's designed by the anti-family court system employees. This has been going on. This is a strategic. What I've learned in my experience, it's strategically doing this to their child and to the parent, the targeted parent, to create dysfunction in the child and the parent. A lot of the parents are good parents. They probably, a lot of them never done anything wrong, but they're made into monsters. And what the kid sees is that they're being lied to and told that this parent is bad whenever the parent isn't. And during the holidays, the kid starts understanding, oh, I'm not going to see mom or dad on the holidays because they're bad. Okay, this is what our society has created. Uh, the preset, like for the targeted parent, that we're bad, like we're bad for society. They need this to create the chaos, the income, because now you're going to need psychologists involved, counselors. Like us, we're not counselors. We don't have a degree in counseling. We don't have a degree in being psychologists. We're not giving anybody advice about this stuff. We're just telling our true life experiences and our opinions on what we think what other targeted parents might actually experience. Wouldn't you agree to that, Lori?
Yes, I totally agree. And you brought up a good point about triggers. Um, the holidays in particular would trigger me. It could be, it was a song on the radio. It
Hmm.
would be a favorite meal, something that I had to prepare for others. And you have the memories of sharing that with your children. Or it was one of their favorites. Um, the triggers, I don't know the best way that I could tell people to handle them. Do you have any advice on how to handle those triggers?
No, I can only tell you what I did. Like I said, I put a wall up, and I wouldn't go out on the holidays. Actually, like 10 days before any holiday, I wouldn't even go in the grocery stores. I wouldn't go shopping. I just go to work and then come straight home. That's how I had to cope with the pain and suffering I was feeling in the holidays. And then whenever the holiday actually got there, it made me sick. That's like my daughter's birthday. I couldn't see her. It broke my heart, and I had to actually mail stuff through her to the mail, like for her birthday. Actually, mailing stuff like a lot of us do. That's wrong. They make you look like you did something wrong to your child, and you got to actually mail a gift to them or try to drop it off. You're afraid to drop it off because you don't want charges pressed on you for harassment, stalking,
Trespassing,
making
trespass.
all kinds of false acts. So then that adds more trauma on top of everything else that you're already going through. So now you have to be thinking, your mind's going 100 mile an hour whenever the holidays come up because you're trying to deal with it, and nobody will help you because if you say anything, like say if you say something to a psychologist or a therapist, they try to make you look like you're crazy, and that's exactly what they want you to do.
Yeah.
Uh, that's what happens to our society that people don't understand. And a lot of people they say, "Oh, that doesn't happen. They don't do." But these people, they've never experienced it. They've never experienced the pure evil of doing this. You have to, in my own opinion, it takes a special kind of evil to do something like this to another parent that's never done anything wrong, that always loved their kid. Just because you divorce or separate from your spouse or from somebody that you're not married to doesn't mean you're divorcing or separating from your own children. But
Correct.
our society has created this, and they created the trauma. Even like the suicide rates, Lori, parents can't take it, and they have no help, so they commit suicide just to get rid of the pain and anguish that they feel because the court system continuously attacks them and makes them look like monsters whenever they're not. And you even know that. How many people have you talked to, Lori, that even talked about, committing suicide or don't know how to handle the stress, and you do your
Countless,
best because you're coping with it yourself.
countless. It just countless. How many we would talk out of it over the phone, like 4 or 5 hours into a phone call,
Yep.
just to be supportive, be that supportive figure. And if they don't end up suicidal, they fall to alcohol and drugs. And there was quite a few people that I knew throughout our support group that just simply relied on pills
Mhm.
so that they would just sleep all day and then they don't function. And when you don't function, you don't work. When you don't work, you can't pay your bills. So you see the sick cycle that's happening. And
Yeah.
it's awful. And it was all, like you said, created by the score system.
Right. Even I've talked to many different parents. They was wealthy. Okay, they had a lot of money and everything. I mean, including myself. I wasn't wealthy, but I was okay. And I talked to guys that had millions of dollars and everything, and women, and it got siphoned away from them. It took their ability to earn. It took their abilities to do things. And around the holidays, I don't know if I'm just speaking from my own experience. I always liked the holidays because I really wanted to give to my daughter everything I could possibly give her. So I had tons of gifts. It didn't matter if I got any. I just wanted to see her happy and to see her open up and be happy. That's what a parent does for their child. But whenever you're in the court system, all that is taken away, including the financial part of it. You can't even afford to buy your child a gift that you want. You can't do anything. I mean, thank God that me and Lori found one another because whenever I finally started breaking through and I started seeing my daughter, I had no money. I had no money for Christmas, and it just crushed me as a parent. It made me feel like I wasn't even a man anymore and a dad. I couldn't be that dad like I wanted to and give my child everything I wanted to. And it was because of the kindness of a friend that I'm looking at right now by the name of Lori Nicholson. She sent me some things to give to my daughter for Christmas. And I almost broke down and cried because that kind of kindness you're not used to whenever you're dealing with the anti-family court system and other people around the country. They don't understand that. But like Lori, she's always been a great friend. She understands like even my struggles, even my trigger points. My trigger point was being poor because I had money and it was taken away from me and I couldn't buy my daughter gifts. And I guarantee you, Lori, there's other fathers out there that can relate, and there's other mothers around the country that can relate. It's torturing whenever you as this person, a good dad or a good mom, that could go into the stores and buy anything you wanted for your child.
And
Then
it's
all
just
of a sudden,
stripped away,
it's
just
gone.
stripped.
And it triggered me. And I was so upset whenever I even told you that I couldn't even afford to buy anything for my daughter because of what the court system did. And plus, I was still fighting them. And every dime I had to file, I had to use it for mailing and everything. And I don't make a lot. And I did the best I could. But because of Lori's kindness, that's what we lack in this world is kindness and understanding. Because of her kindness, she actually helped me give my daughter a good Christmas. And that's something I can't ever explain until you experience the kindness of one person can change the life of your child to try to get them on the right track again.
Well,
You
I
know, it's
didn't
not,
do it. I did not do it for attention. I did
I
it
know
for
you didn't.
kindness because the reason I did it is because I've been there. I've been
Exactly.
there. My family's been there. A lot of people don't know this.
No.
Probably just you know this.
Yeah,
Maybe a
and
few others. But back in the midst of my mess, I want to say 2007 was the worst year of our lives. My youngest daughter was going to be 2, maybe a year and a half. It was somewhere between, yeah. So my husband, my current husband, had a job since he started it as a teenager with his father, um, the forklift business. And when we were so entangled in this court process, I mean, it strips every dime. Every single dime you own goes to attorney fees or filings or this or that. And it got to the point where my current husband lost his job of 30 years, no severance pay. I owed somewhere around between $7,000 and $10,000 just in legal fees. And I kept pushing him to a credit card because the child support wasn't being paid. The alimony wasn't coming in. He loses his job. It's right before the holidays, smack dab between Thanksgiving. It was before Thanksgiving and it went on through February. My husband, Mike, took on 3 different jobs. He'd come home as a human icicle, washing ups trucks for income, taking up all kinds of odd jobs. And I said, you know, enough's enough. We stood in line for a turkey at the shelter or wherever they were handing them out. We stood in line for our meals. And I remember pushing Faith in the stroller, standing in that 50 deep line for food. We didn't have it, you know? And so Mike took on 3 different jobs. And I said, you know, why are you working so hard? I said, go back to doing what you love. Go back to doing what you know. And I told him to start up his own business. And we would put Faith to bed and we would work tirelessly all night long on letter templates, you know, everything, our customer list, everything. So we know what hitting rock bottom is. Our house was going to be foreclosed. We had sheriff notices on our door. And I look at our lives now and, you know, all he needed was a swift kick in the rear end to get him going. And he needed that partnership of me. And, you know, I'm very happy. I'm content, but I can honestly say from coming up from rock bottom, I totally can relate.
Yeah,
And that's why when my kids didn't have the presents back then, we couldn't afford that kind of stuff. That's what made me give to you because of the memory.
But it's just that one act of kindness. And even if our show only gets one person, and maybe that one person has the financial means to help somebody, I think for the holidays, it would be very nice if you can afford to help a friend out without even saying anything. Maybe they don't have the financial ability to help their child or children out.
Or go to a local school. They have children on a tree, a gift tree. If you go to a local school, you can go to the shelter. They always need hats, coats, gloves, you know, whatever. If you go to a homeless shelter and help serve food, you know, during the holidays, those are all acts of kindness.
But what I'm saying right now, Lori, that whoever watches this show an act of kindness. One act of kindness can actually change a person's mentality, everything about their entire life. Because whenever you're a targeted parent, you have no, you just have nobody in your life. But whenever you do this, it can do this. So maybe the show to tell people, hey, do one act of kindness for somebody that you like, or maybe don't even like. Just send them something to let them know that they're not alone and you have a little bit more extra that you're willing to give. This is the holidays. This is what it's all about. So if one person that's watching this knows somebody that's going through this, we would deeply appreciate that you would act out and give that kindness to somebody that might not have that kindness anymore.
And let us know how it made you feel.
Yes, definitely let us know, because I know how it felt for me and my daughter, just seeing her face glowing and stuff. So that's why I'm asking people around the country, if you watch this video, do that act of kindness, because I know how I felt. I felt so good that my daughter was ripping open all these gifts that I couldn't do. And because of a friend that didn't have to do anything, I never asked, she never did anything. It was one act of kindness that changed a lot for me. It showed me that there are people out there that do care about me and do care about the feelings of my daughter and know the trigger points. So whenever we do this episode, share it throughout the country. Just one act of kindness, I'm telling you, can make a big difference. And that's one thing whenever you're a targeted parent, you have no faith in. You have no faith in society. And whenever you do this, it changes you. It actually, because of what you did, Lori, it made it better for my daughter because then the next year I was able to afford stuff and everything. The act of kindness started me on a path where I have my own home now. I have my daughter living with me. I can afford to get her gifts now and stuff like this, where before I didn't. But
I
because of
know.
one
Think
act of
about think
kindness,
about where you were just 5 years ago.
exactly, I didn't have nothing. But because of one act of kindness, started a chain reaction for me to be on a right path, on a better path.
Mhm.
And that's what we are doing as a show. We're trying to tell the truth. We're not looking for glory. We're not looking for anything. Me and Lori's really compassionate about what we do. And just, act of kindness on everybody's part around the United States can make a difference because the court system doesn't want this. They want everybody to be feeling like the way they are around holidays. They don't want people to be kind to one another. They don't
Right.
want empathy. They don't want sympathy. They don't need this. I know what you went through. I know what I went through. I know what thousands, like I said, millions of other parents that go through that don't even realize it, what's even happening to them. And, my best advice on my part is that you, as a parent, after you did watching this, letting you know that you're not alone, but you have a choice. Are you going to allow evil to run your life? Or are you going to stand up and make a difference and not allow them to do this to you on the holidays? You have to find something that makes you happy. I can't say it. Lori can't say it. To make you happy about the holidays, to make you feel a little bit better, to try to get you to move forward instead of being stuck in a Groundhog Day every day of your life whenever holidays come up.
Yeah.
Only you can do it as a parent and try to do this. And hopefully, our video that me and Lori are doing compels somebody to start looking for a brighter future instead of evil keeping them in the past and stuck in the past.
Don't stay
You know,
stuck. Find a
well,
hobby.
I know it's
Find
it, but it's the brutal truth.
right.
And that's what people need to hear. I don't appease anybody. It is the truth about we are stuck in that. But you got to do it. You got to find your way out and you got to move forward. Nobody can do that for you. And hopefully our video helps people to push them to, overcome their fear, overcome the holidays. It's not going to happen right away. It takes time. And, you got to have good people surrounding you. So make sure you always surround yourself with good people, good friends that can relate to you, not bring you down all the time.
Find a support group.
Support base, like you was just gonna say.
Yeah.
What do you do? Even I mean, I'm out of it, and I do have my daughter, and and we have good holidays together. And my trigger point's gone after that. I still shake once in a while, but like yourself, Lori, why don't you, how do you cope with it because you're still dealing with it?
It's very difficult. Everybody thinks it's so much easier because I have faith. Faith being my youngest daughter. Um, she's 16. We're very close, but I still have to keep her afloat. She's missing three siblings, and so the holidays are extremely difficult on her too, because we miss the family gatherings, we miss the traditions, we every year we used to go and get our family portrait done right before the holidays. That was one of our gifts that we gave to everyone. Um, I think that's probably why I started a support group here in Pennsylvania, was because I knew I wasn't the only one. And I come to find out, I mean, there's tons of people dealing with this, whether it be CPS, alienation, you name it. There's grandparents, aunts, uncles, fathers, mothers, brothers, you name it, they're out there. And if you don't have that support group in your area, hell, make your own. It's very easy. I mean, I went from 0 to every weekend, I would have at least 10 people in my home on Sundays. So it not only gives you something to look forward to, but you're in a space where everybody around you is going through the same thing. And so we were kind of, lifting each other up, keeping us afloat. And a lot of those people I consider family now, because we have cried together, we have laughed together, we have spent so many hours talking about each other's situations and scenarios. I found that to be the best thing for me, was the support group. Faith is doing much better. We're very extremely close. In fact, Thursday we're gonna go get tattooed for the first time, both of us. And
Normal life, huh, Lori?
yeah, normal life. But I'm very surprised that my 16-year-old's asking me to put something. Her design is, she gave me life, meaning me, and she wants me to wear, she gives me purpose. So that really hits home here. And I'm very excited as well as scared because it's going to be my first one. But I'm honored that my daughter asked me that, because there's so many things I've missed with my own children, that I'm driving with her now. I missed all that. I missed the proms. I missed the homecomings. I missed numerous holidays, years of them. And I get all that with her. Plus,
That's funny that you mentioned about the tattoo. I actually did that with my daughter. She asked me if I would get a tattoo. Actually, my ex-wife too, all at the same time. After we finally made peace and worked for our daughter for the best interest, instead of allowing the anti-family court system employees to dictate our good future, we do it ourselves. She actually asked me and her her mom, to get a tattoo, and her mom and her got the exact same tattoo. Well, because I'm a father, I'm not going to get the girly thing. So you know what I got. I asked my daughter, I said, what would you like your dad to get? And she said, remember that rubber ducky that I had? And she sang me a song, and Lori sang it. And that was a time in my life and her life that we was happy, and she loved her dad, and she never thought anything bad about her dad. And she asked me to get a tattoo of a rubber ducky that said Jenna, I can't remember, but I'm just so excited whenever you was telling me that, because it makes you excited for a change, that you have something to live for. So I got this done. It took me like 3 hours, and then my daughter videoed it and laughing her ass off at me. But now we have a stronger connection now, because every time I look at it and every time she looks at it, she knows that, we have a bond.
Reflect on the good times.
Yeah, just like my ex-wife and her, they got a bond now, and that's what you're going to experience. That's why I said you got to find something that's going to help, help you curb the holidays coming up and everything. And I know what it's like. You're never going to regret getting that tattoo. You're going to be happy.
I hope you're right, Tim.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. It is scary, but you're never going to regret it. I don't ever regret it.
No,
People laugh at my little ducky on there. Well, not little, but it's big on my arm. And, but it's a time whenever it was happy and she was happy. And I let my daughter pick it out. What was a good time for her? And she's the one that picked it out. So your daughter's doing the same thing. What was happy for her? And you're going to share that connection for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
I mean, look at it. You see that bond and what it resembled. Right. Yes.
So now the parents that don't have the support like you do and I do, what would you, I mean, is there support groups, and is there suicide hotlines? Because a lot of parents,
we're gonna share that at the end.
Yeah, tell them where they may be able to get
we'll
it.
Share it.
We'll out the house.
Yeah, we'll definitely share that number at the end, because I want everybody to make sure that they have either A, support, or B, they have the phone numbers that they need. If I did not have faith, I would be looking for a hobby. I would do something that I've never done. And actually, I've been doing that just to busy my mind, because I was so in gear. I was in gear for how many years? Since 2005, and I got out in 2021, 2021. I knew nothing but court. That's how I lived and wasted my whole entire life, was on court all
Mhm.
those years. And so right now I'm kind of paying myself back, and I'm respecting myself a lot more. I was in that dark hole. I didn't think I'd ever see light in that, from that dark hole. And so, Tim, my dogs are my life right now, besides Faith. But I've really zoomed in on my therapy dog. I spent a whole year training her. Now we go to events and we volunteer our time, and she gives love and wags and licks, and everybody adores her. And that makes me feel good because, in a way, I'm giving every time I leave the house with her. She
Mhm.
puts on her little vest and she knows I'm going to work. And we work with children. We're in 3, 4 different schools, and I'm with children every day. And
And they
that
actually
is
asked
rewarding
you
to me.
and they actually asked you to be there. Now, in the court system, you was a monster. You wasn't allowed your
Stay
own kids.
away. Stay
Yeah,
away.
you wasn't even allowed around
Right,
your own kids.
right.
But you
And you
overcome
have to
your
have
fear.
clearances to enter any of these schools. So
Mhm.
if I have a criminal record, of course I would not be going, right?
Right. But in the
So,
court system, you became a criminal in
right,
their eyes
right,
and couldn't even spend time with your own kids. But
right.
yet you give so much joy and so much back to the community over, although you didn't have to. Like I said, you got to find your relief
My
that makes
niche.
you happy. And
Right.
that's what you did. That's what parents need to see right now.
Yeah.
You did find something to make you happy. You overcome the evil that was going through your life for so many years. The yeah, holidays coming up, everything coming up. And you did this. This shows parents hope. Like myself, I overcome it. You overcome it. You can overcome it, but only you, as a targeted parent, can actually do it for yourself. You need to find
You have to
what
do it for
makes
yourself,
you happy.
because if you don't do it for yourself, nobody else is going to do for you.
Exactly.
You have to, self-care is key. Self-care, you have to stay strong and well. Our children are going to need us. It might not be right now, but our children are going to come back. And when they do, they're going to be broken. They're going to need us. And in order to prepare for that, you have to make yourself strong and well. And until nobody else is going to fix you. It's just like being in an abusive relationship. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make that horse drink.
That's right.
So you have to take the opportunity to make that change and make sure that you're taking care of you. Whether
Yeah.
it be starting a new hobby, or, like I
Yeah.
said, take a trip that you've never been able to take. Take that daring step to go eat by yourself, go to a movie by yourself. You know, those are all, it's a simple way of healing and overcoming the unknown fear. And
Right.
so those baby steps, do journaling. I used to journal a lot. I used to write poetry. I've fallen away from that. And I look back and I'm like, wow, that's pretty dark. But it was my way of coping. Light a candle, light a candle and have your private moments and your thoughts, and make it symbolize something. That
Right.
helped me. That helped me
Well,
a lot.
even in the targeted, even in the family court system, what they've done, they took a little piece of the targeted parent away from them. The simplest things, the things that you don't even think about as a targeted parent because it's been replaced by pure evil
Yeah.
in the family court system. I know I even posted on Facebook, a simple task, even cooking a meal that you haven't done in 10 years. Okay, that's what I do. I actually post it. A lot of people around the country said, well, so what? You do that. But for a targeted parent that's been through a lot, that's a lot.
That's a
Okay,
huge feat.
to show progress of moving forward,
Mhm.
of even cooking a simple meal. And part of the other thing that I was going to mention, Lori, you got to relieve the toxic people out of your life. You might
Yeah.
run across friends; they're always going to keep you down. You're going to have your flying monkeys. They're going to try to push you into things. You got to get a support group that is fit for you, not fit for them, because there's a lot of people out there that want to get you in this cult thing and get you to keep hating. And that's not good for you around the holidays. That's
No,
not good. You need
stay
to
away
find
from the
good
negativity.
support. people that understand you, that want to help you out. A good friendship, you got to connect. Not everybody around the country is going to connect. We know that. But you got to find these people. They're out there. Me and Lori found one another. We've been best friends ever since. She was intimidated by me, and I get that a lot. I don't mean to be intimidated. That's what they created in me. That's what
Mhm.
the court system did. They released a monster in me that I didn't want to be. And during the times of like the holidays, I had that monster still in me, and I had to get rid of it. And that's the things that we got to overcome as parents to try to find things to make us happy. Don't allow them to create you into something that you're not. That's what they do. They will find the littlest things and take it away from you. And
Or
like the
blow it out of
simple,
proportion.
right, even the simple task of cooking, like say you want to cook a meal that you've done for your child a million times, they make it into something bad, you
Oh,
know?
that must be a histrionic personality.
Exactly. They start creating diagnosis for you. They want to make it look like you're crazy. They're doing everything. It takes a special kind of evil to do this because these people actually have families and they go home to their families and they have to switch off that evil. Or maybe they do. I don't know. But how can another human being do this to another human being knowing that they're wrong and to destroying a good person's life just so they can make their money and make their profit? And they
Right,
all gang up on them. It's gang stalking and gaslighting the targeted victim all on one. I don't care
right.
if you're a mother. I don't care if you're a father. This is happening. This is really happening, especially around holidays. They love the foul pleadings against the targeted victim on special occasions, birthdays, holidays. They
Weekends,
love to do this. They do this
summer
all the
vacation.
time.
Right.
And you know that, Lori. They even filed a lawsuit against me on my dad's birthday for crying out loud. They've even done things on my mother's birthday for crying out loud. On special holidays that
And you
mean
look,
something
you're
to the
like, how
targeted,
can this be? But
it's
like you said, this was
psychological
done.
abuse.
Yeah.
Have they done that to you, Lori?
Oh yeah. My last hearing, they wanted to schedule on my birthday. I'm like, yeah, let's not have it on my birthday. We'll do it the day before. I was given 2 dates, my birthday or the day before. Just
Psychological abuse.
just to ruin my 54th birthday, right?
Yeah, that's what the court system's designed to do.
Yeah.
And most Americans around the
We
country
don't
don't
know
know,
that until you're
they
out of
don't
it.
know that. And
Yeah.
like a lot of talk shows like me and Lori have are going to be different. We're going to touch these subjects on this that no one else around the country is actually focusing on. We're going to focus on targeted parents that actually go through this stuff. And me and Lori is going to have people on our show. It's going to get bigger. But right now, me and Lori are trying to do this to show people that we are real people. We have no agendas. We're not fake. The holidays are tough on her, they're tough on me, and it's
We know
a
they're tough on you
challenging
all.
time.
Yeah.
It's a challenging time, especially whenever you've been beat down to a complete pulp.
Mhm.
Especially around holidays. And you said around crying. Remember me telling you about I used to curl up in a ball and cry. I'm a
Been
grown
there,
man,
been
and
there.
that's what they did. And
Yeah.
I tell people this because people need to know what happened to me, and people need to know what's happening to other parents around the country, including holidays. That's why this whole show is dedicated for the parents around the country that's not seeing their children.
Mhm.
We've even did video or like slideshows. Remember the parental alienation? We
Yeah.
got a lot. Me and Lori worked together about this, and we actually care about people. And we put videos together on Mother's Day and Father's Day and for holidays
For
of
all
the
the targeted
alienated
parents.
people that the parents, mothers and fathers, and we did a post. And there's thousands of people that shared it because they can relate. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, we've done things like this to help people, not about us or to make us look glorious. It's not about that. It's about doing the right thing. That's something that this world has forgotten, to do the right things. And that's why me and Lori decided to start the show. And wouldn't you agree, Lori, that like this episode on the trying times that parents have on holidays is actually good for parents to know that there's other people and to try to find your own solutions and to do things. That's how we have to overcome the evil that's
Right.
in the anti-family court system and the
Right.
employees that do this.
Right.
Don't you agree on this?
I do. Before this ends, because I'm looking at the time and we only have a few more minutes, but um, Another thing, a lot of parents, I myself was a victim of, I kept my children's rooms like shrines. And it took me a long time to, number one, be able to open that door that was always shut. But I left it as it was when they left. You know, I left their, I would go in and smell their stuffed animals, their clothes, their pillows. And I found that it became toxic for me. And that's, you know, I've talked to you when those rooms were dismantled. But during the holidays, if you're unable to see your children, um, don't stop reaching out, whether it be a text message, a voicemail if you're able. Sit around and write them a card or a letter and tuck it away somewhere so that you have it. Write down your feelings into a card. But don't stop trying to reach out. Our kids need to know that we still love them and we still care, and we do. We're just unable to reach them right now. So I wanted to make sure that everybody, please do not stop trying to reach out to the children. A lot of people question the gifts and the cards. I know a lot of parents, they want to send gifts. My own situation, the gifts never reached the children. I was unable to do that. So there's piles here. There's piles of cards, and I'm putting it all away. And someday they will get it. Don't know when. I don't know if there'll ever be a someday, but their gifts are here, their cards are here. And I just, I would avoid trouble at all costs, especially during the holidays. You need to keep a cool, calm, collected head. And if you don't stay calm, your actions could be very irrational and viewed that way. So make sure that you're keeping yourself calm.
That's what the court system wants. They want you to do that so you react. So that way they can justify their fraudulent activity upon their targeted victim.
Right.
This is what they do to all of us around the country, including yourself. But the thing, Lori, you have is you never gave up. That's what this is about. You don't ever give up on your kids. If you love them, I don't care what the court system did. I don't care what the ex did. You never give up on your kids, no matter what. And you are 100% right. You do your best. Even if you don't succeed, you do your best to try to always reach out, because someday it just might happen. You don't know when, but it might happen, and you can give them everything, and it opens up their entire world that they never knew existed about that parent.
Right. So do you have any closing thoughts, Tim, on the holidays?
No, the only thing I can say is parents, don't ever give up. Like I just said, try to find your peace. Try your best to do whatever it takes to find yourself again. You got to fix you before you can fix anything else. And the holidays are very tough, but this is what I'm telling you as a friend. I'm telling you as somebody that's actually went through it. You got to fix yourself before you can do anything else. And if you like our show, In the Raw with Tim and Lori and Tim, please share it throughout the country. Lori's doing an amazing job with everything. And what would be your closing, Lori? I just want to see, have a Merry Christmas and a good holiday for parents and children.
My hearts go out to every targeted parent out there. I know that you're not alone. I know it feels like you're alone, but you're not alone. I want everybody to be aware that there is a U.S. National Suicide Prevention line. That number is 1-800-273-TALK. And that's anytime, day or night. You can actually chat with them. I believe that they have texting available as well. It's 24/7 and it's confidential support. Also for the veterans out there, please dial 988 if you're feeling like you're in a crisis situation, that you're going to take your own life. We don't need to lose any more people. And it seems very high and prevalent during the holiday season. So please stay safe out there, stay strong, stay well. We love you. If you need anything, please reach out to us. Tim?
Yeah, and I just want to thank everybody for watching our second episode of In the Raw with Lori and Tim. And may God bless you on these holidays. And thank you.
Thank everybody for joining us here in the Raw. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, stay strong, stay well.
Yep. Have a good one. Thank you.